All right, guys, it is Who's Number One week, the top high school wrestling event in the country. It's going down on Sunday, September 29. We've got an incredible card of women's matches at 2 p.m. Eastern. The boys matches, those are going to be 5 p.m. Eastern. Let me tell you why you're not going to want to miss this year's event, and might as well start with the last match on the card with the headliner. It's Bo Bassett. It's Daniel Zapa, number one versus number two. It's a rematch, and we don't get a lot of rematches in Who's Number One history. And we definitely don't have a rematch that's ever been as hyped as this one. It's going to be in Bo Bassett's hometown against the last high school wrestler to have beaten Bassett and Daniel Zapa. If you watched the match last year, it was insane. So much action. Both the guys letting it fly. And it was, Bassett doing some really good things, but ultimately Zapa winning by fall. And one of the key storylines coming out of that was the difference in size. Zapa was big, he was strong, and Bassett was coming up in weight to 138. It was his first event at 138. And you could tell that, maybe he wasn't ready for the weight because he actually returned back to 132 for Super 32. He wrestled a college open at 133, but now it seems like he's grown. He's been wrestling 144 or 65 kilos, all summer. And Zapa's at 144. It's going to be a lot closer in size, but the skill and the ability for these guys to let it fly has not changed. The crowd's going to be so hyped. You guys are too. I can't wait. These guys know how to promote a match too. We saw Bassett give Zapa the golden ticket. And it's such a no-brainer headliner. Can't wait for you guys to watch it. It's going to be awesome. But the match right before that, you're not going to want to miss this one as well. Larian Lockett, he's from Stillwater, Oklahoma State commit, fresh off a U20 World Silver medal in his first attempt. This guy already won U17 World Gold. He's won everything at the high school level, but he's bumping up in weight. And this is not like a giant 165 pounder. This is a guy that just wrestled 163 and change a couple weeks ago at the U20 Worlds. He wants to test himself against a bigger opponent, against new competition, and he's going to have a serious test in Ryan Burton, New Jersey State champ. This guy's a Super 32 champ. And when he won Super 32 last year, Burton, he was at 175. D. Lockett won Super 32, two weight classes lower at 157, right? There's a huge size gap a year ago, and D's closed that size gap, but he's definitely given up size. Burton, really hard to score on, incredible ham fighter, dynamic offense of his own, and this is going to be a match that I think people are going to be talking about for a long time, and it could help to determine what D. Lockett wants to do for the rest of his senior year, because he's wrestled a lot of the guys at 165. He's familiar with them. He's seen them. There's a lot of new, fresh faces up at 175. So could we see him back up at 175 for Ironman? I think that's definitely a possibility. We're going to find out a lot in this match, and you're not going to want to miss it. Before that, we're going to have 150 pounds. We got a 3-man group. It was going to be a 4-man, but Roboto, who was going to be 150, he's getting bigger. He's going up to 157. So Maddox Shaw is sitting in the 150 finals. He's going to wrestle the winner of Jaden James and Colin Guy, who are going to wrestle in the first match of the tournament. James and Guy, these dudes are both committed to Virginia Tech. This is going to be probably the only time we're going to see them wrestle. Or if we see them wrestle again, it'll only be this year. Jaden James, just a junior, Colin Guy, a senior. And James looks like a guy who's going to get a lot bigger. He looks like maybe a 174 pounder down the road. He was 138 in the high school season, but by Fargo up to 150. So he's on a growth trajectory. This is going to be a fun one that I think we'll look back on in years and say, wow, it's kind of surprising that these guys were at the same weight class. But the winner between James and Guy is going to get Maddox Shaw at 150. Maddox Shaw, PIAA champ, Super 32 champ. This guy's done it all. Super, super good. Not going to want to miss that one. Before that, 132. Circle this one. Many people are expecting, I heard them talking about it on FRL yesterday, they're expecting Jax Forrest and Seth Mendoza to be the wildest match of this entire event. That's not a bad place to place your money if you're betting on who's going to score a lot. Tyler and I were looking yesterday. These guys have been in the event combined 3 times. Forrest has been there twice. Mendoza's been in there once. The average number of points scored when either Jax Forrest or Seth Mendoza take the mat at Who's Number One is 25. 25 points average. These guys have high gas tanks. Both of them are going to fire shots. They're going to fire attacks, and they both know how to scramble. They won't relent in any position. So don't be surprised with anything in this match. We could see turns. We could see the score, get run up. Also, by the way, these guys have history. Jax Forrest, the last time they wrestled Fargo finals, teched Seth Mendoza, but just couple months before that, Mendoza Tech Jax Forrest. They also met in folk style this season in the Carnahan finals. And that one was Jax. He won. I think it was 8-5, a lot of scrambles, good action. So what kind of match are we going to get? It could literally be anything. We've seen it all from these guys. So don't miss that one. 132, going to be awesome. Before that, 126, we're on the lookout for history here. Anthony Knox, he won this before his freshman year. He won it Who's Number One before his sophomore year. He won it Who's Number One before his junior year. He's going to be a senior. Now he's got one more opportunity. If he does it, he will be the first person ever to win at Who's Number One 4 times in a row. And the opponents that he's taken on have not been slouches. First time, Luke Lillidahl. This guy, a lot of people think he may be the favorite to be an NCAA champ. That's who Knox beat the first time. Next guy, Christian Castillo, world medalist, beat him. And then last year, he beat one of his best friends and a future Iowa Hawkeye, Leo DeLuca. And now he's got Aaron Seidel. Seidel just ran through Fargo, looked incredible, dominant Fargo finals victory. The guy's a 3-time state champ, which Knox is too, by the way. Both these guys in super tough states. Seidel trying to become a 4-time Pennsylvania state champ. Knox trying to become a 4-time New Jersey state champ. I mean, that's just an insane matchup to begin with. And folk style is where these guys are really good. Both these guys, bread and butter is in folk style. They're both incredible. Scramblers are really good on top. Great on the mat. I don't know. This match could go a lot of different ways, but another super tough opponent if Knox wants to win this for the 4th year in a row. Change of pace. I'm looking at the matchups, and it was supposed to be 190 pounds. Harvey Ludington, Kade Zola. Ludington's hurt. He's out as of, this last minute. This is yesterday that we found this out. So last night, we were able to make a match. It's going to be at 200 pounds. We've got the number 4 ranked guy in the country at 215, Angelo Posada. He's going to take on Kade Zola, who's ranked second at 190. And it makes sense. Zola wants to be a heavyweight in college. He's probably going to be moving forward. So getting him a match is first priority, and getting him a match like this is going to be awesome. These guys have wrestled a couple times in the past. Both the matches have been really competitive. The last time they wrestled was a year ago at Elite 8 Duels. And Posada got in on a takedown early. Looked like he might be in position to kind of figure things out and take it to Zola. But Zola in a scramble ended up splitting the legs, getting the fall in that match. And I think these guys are going to let it fly. It's a last-minute replacement, but it's going to be, I think, one of the more exciting matches of the event. And I can't wait for it. Before that, 138, Sergio Vega, Drew Gorman. It's a rematch from the Fargo finals. Vega won that match in, pretty convincing fashion, but he did it in a lot of freestyle specific ways. And some of the scrambles ended up resulting in exposure for Vega. That's not going to be on the table in the same way. So it's still going to be a lot of scrambles. You're not ever going to stop Drew Gorman from attacking, from getting in on legs. What's going to happen in that match? I don't know, but I really love the style clash. You got Sergio Vega. This guy's been in the Super 32 finals, Fargo champ. You got Fargo finalist Drew Gorman. Should be a lot of fun. Matchup before that, Michigan fans, be on the lookout. We got 2 future Wolverines and maybe 2 guys that are going to be wrestling off for the heavyweight spot, because it's going to be number 1 heavyweight Nicholas Sahakian taking on number 1 215-pounder Jude Correa. These guys have never wrestled in their high school careers, and they may both be wanting to move up to heavyweight. So this could be amazing blue wrestle off right before your eyes. Number 1 versus number 1. And it made sense to do this match because Jude Correa, his opponent would have been Drayshawn Ross. Drayshawn Ross, number 2 at 215. He's hurt. So you know what? Let's do this number 1 versus number 1. Wolverine fans, let's see what your heavyweight room's about to look like in a year. Should be awesome. Third match of the event, Melvin Miller, Landon Robideau. Melvin Miller, this guy has just been clutch throughout his freshman year of high school. Hard to believe this guy, just a rising sophomore. He's come from behind in dramatic fashion. Super 32, he won a title there. PIAAs, I think he was losing from his quarterfinal match on. Got it done there. Fargo finals, insane drama. Melvin Miller needed 2 takedowns in the last 18 seconds. Got it done. The last one I think came with a restart at 4 seconds. I mean, this guy is clutch, but he's never wrestled Landon Robideau. They've been a weight class apart at Super 32 where they both made the finals. They're a weight class apart in Fargo. And actually, Melvin Miller originally registered at Fargo for 150. So we thought Miller-Robideau could have happened at Fargo. It didn't because Miller moved up. Now we're going to see it, once and for all. This should be an awesome matchup between Fargo champs who wanted it back-to-back weights this year. Can't wait for that one. 113 pounds, Dominic Munaretto. He just won his second U17 world title. He's taking on Ignacio Villasenor, who's a U17 world bronze medalist. These guys wrestled in Super 32 a couple years ago, and Munaretto got it done. Kind of put it on late, but it was really close throughout. I think we're going to see another really fun tactical matchup. Villasenor just moved from Colorado to Stillwater, where he's going to be at Stillwater High School. So new training environment. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of adjustments he makes. But Don Munaretto, always so good. He's very strong, tough to move around, great position, and he can go big. He can go feet to back. He has, pancaked many people in his day, and you never know what's going to happen. We already talked about 150. That's going to kick it off, but this event is going to be stacked from start to finish. And don't forget, 3 hours before this event starts, you got the girls matches, world champs, world medalists. You're not going to want to miss all the action at Who's Number One, September 29, 2 p.m. for the girls, 5 p.m. for the boys.